Every label had been cut from her clothes. Her fingerprints had been sanded off, and she had burned alive. On Sunday, November 29, 1970, a university professor and his two young daughters were hiking through Isdal Valley outside Bergen, Norway, a place locals had called Death Valley for centuries because of the hikers who fell from its fog-covered cliffs and the medieval suicides that stained its history. Tucked between the rocks, in a scorched patch of ground, lay a woman. Her front was burned beyond recognition. Her arms were raised in what pathologists call the boxer position, the pose the body takes when it burns. Around her, someone, maybe her, maybe someone else, had arranged a strange collection of objects: a melted umbrella, a broken bottle of liqueur, rubber boots, jewelry, and a packet of sleeping pills. But the detail that made hardened Norwegian detectives go cold wasn't the fire. It was what was missing. Every trace of who this woman was had been methodically, deliberately erased, and that was only the beginning. To understand why this case shook Norway, you need to understand where and when it happened. Bergen, 1970. A picturesque harbor city on Norway's west coast. But beneath the postcard surface, Bergen sat on the front line of the Cold War. Norway shared a border with the Soviet Union, and its fjords were crawling with NATO activity. In fact, remember this, because it becomes critical later. In the exact weeks surrounding the woman's death, the Norwegian military was secretly testing its brand-new Penguin anti-ship missile in the fjords near Bergen. Foreign intelligence services desperately wanted eyes on those tests. Into this world walked a woman no one could place. The autopsy revealed she was between 25 and 40 years old, about 5'4", with long brownish-black hair and small, distinctive eyes. Her dental work, expensive gold crowns, suggested she came from Central or Southern Europe, not Scandinavia. She had eaten a full meal shortly before she died. And in her stomach, pathologists found something that turned the case from tragedy into nightmare: 50 to 70 sleeping pills. That's what the pathologist found. Phenobarbital, a powerful barbiturate. Some pills were fully absorbed into her blood, but others sat in her stomach, undigested. Which raised a horrifying question: if she took a lethal dose of sedatives, why was there soot in her lungs? Because soot in the lungs means one thing: she was breathing when the fire started. 3 days after the discovery, the case exploded. Police traced the woman's movements to Bergen's railway station, where 2 suitcases had been sitting unclaimed in the luggage office since November 23rd, 6 days before her body was found. Inside, clothes with the labels cut out, wigs, non-prescription glasses, glasses with plain glass lenses worn purely to change her appearance, 500 German marks hidden in the lining, tubes of eczema, cream with the prescription labels scraped off, cosmetics, comb, hairbrush, every item wiped clean of fingerprints. And at the bottom of one suitcase, a notepad filled with what looked like a code, rows of letters and numbers that meant nothing, until a detective noticed a pattern. The code was a travel log. Cracked by Bergen police, the letters and numbers mapped a journey across Europe: Paris, Stavanger, Bergen, Basel, Rome, Oslo. When detectives cross-referenced hotel registries, a ghost emerged. The same woman had checked into hotels across Norway and Europe using at least 8 different identities: Genevieve Lancier, Claudia Tielt, Vera Schlosseneck, Alexia Zarna Merches, Fenella Lork. Each name came with a matching fake passport. Each passport was Belgian, and every single one was forged. Hotel staff remembered her vividly. She was attractive, elegant, wore wigs, and spoke French, German, English, and Flemish, switching between them effortlessly. She requested room changes, sometimes multiple times, always asking for rooms with a balcony. Waiters recalled that she seemed permanently on guard, watching the door. At the Hotel Neptune in Bergen, staff overheard her speaking German with an unknown man, and one employee remembered her final words before checking out on November 23rd, the same day the suitcases were abandoned. She said quietly, "Ich come bald." I am coming soon. 6 days later, she was burning in Death Valley. Then came the witness the police silenced. A local fisherman came forward. 5 days before the body was found, he'd been hiking near Isdalen when he passed a woman on the trail, dressed elegantly, completely wrong for the mountains, her face frozen in what he described as pure fear. Behind her walked 2 men in long black coats, foreign-looking, following her. He was so disturbed that he went to the police, and according to his own account, an officer told him, and I quote, "Forget her. This case will never be solved." Think about that. A witness places 2 unidentified men behind a terrified woman, days before she burns to death, and he's told to forget it. Meanwhile, the official investigation was moving with suspicious speed. Despite the soot in her lungs, despite the neck bruise the autopsy noted, consistent with a blow, despite 8 fake passports and erased fingerprints, Bergen police closed the case within weeks. The official ruling, probable suicide. She was buried in February 1971 in an unmarked grave at Millendale Cemetery in a zinc-lined coffin. Why zinc? So the body wouldn't decay, so that someday someone could open it again. For over 40 years, the case sat frozen. Then, in 2016, Norwegian broadcaster NRK and police forensic scientists did what 1970 could not. They opened the evidence. Her teeth had been preserved in a forensic archive, and modern science can read teeth like a diary. Isotope analysis measures the chemical signature of the water and food you consumed as a child, locked into your enamel forever. The results rewrote everything. The Isdal woman grew up in or around Nuremberg, Germany, likely born between 1930 and 1935, which means she was a small child in Nazi Germany, possibly moving to France near the French-German border as she grew. Her DNA showed European ancestry. Her handwriting, analyzed from hotel registries, showed she learned to write in France or a French-speaking country. Here's where it gets darker. A woman born in early 1930s Germany, fluent in 4 languages, trained in disguise, tradecraft, and counter-surveillance, traveling on professionally forged passports through NATO's northern flank during secret missile tests. Intelligence historians have pointed at one profile that fits perfectly. A Cold War asset, possibly Mossad, possibly Eastern Bloc, running surveillance on the Penguin missile program. And assets who fail, or who try to leave, don't retire. But here is the detail that keeps investigators awake. The one that doesn't fit any theory. Remember those tubes of eczema cream with the prescription labels scraped off? Whoever she was, she suffered from a chronic skin condition and removed the labels so no pharmacy, no doctor, no country could ever be traced. That's not panic. That's not suicide planning. That is professional, long-term identity discipline, the behavior of someone who had been hiding for years, maybe her entire adult life. Now hold that against the fire. If she killed herself, why swallow a lethal dose of barbiturates and then set herself alight while still breathing? Why was there a fresh bruise on her neck? Why did the fisherman see 2 men behind her? Why did jewelry survive the fire, placed beside the body, almost arranged, almost ritualistic? In 1970, a police officer privately told a journalist that the case was buried because, quote, higher powers were involved. Norwegian intelligence files from that period remain sealed or destroyed. Every physical answer science could give us, it has given. She was real. She had a childhood, a hometown, a face. What she never got back? was her name. Today, the Isdal Woman lies in Mullendal Cemetery in Bergen in that zinc coffin, waiting. In 2017, investigators released a forensic reconstruction of her face. Dark hair, wide cheekbones, small watchful eyes. Somewhere, someone may have known that face. A sister, a classmate in Nuremberg, a neighbor in France. The case remains officially open, and Interpol requests still circulate. 3 theories survive. 1. She was a troubled woman who erased herself and chose an unthinkable death. The official line, almost no one believes. 2. She was an intelligence operative monitoring NATO's Penguin missile tests, silenced when she became a liability, her death staged just carefully enough to let everyone look away. 3. The quietest theory, and maybe the saddest. She was someone running from a past that began in 1930s Germany, and it finally caught her in a frozen Norwegian valley. 50-plus years, 8 names, 0 answers. So I'll ask you what Norwegian detectives have asked for half a century. Who walks into Death Valley in evening shoes and never walks out? What do you think really happened? Drop your theory in the comments. And if you want more cases like this, you know what to do. The investigators who worked this case, they found something that led them to a completely different mystery. One that's still unsolved. Click here before it disappears. Subscribe and hit that bell. A new mystery drops every single day.